This video continues from the previous. Okay, so as promised, this is a set of construction documents that it was put together by Habitations LLC, which is a functioning residential building design company firm here in Georgia. And they very, very kindly shared this with us so we could see, I could start to introduce you all to construction documentation. So, the first part is we design what we're doing. The second part is we put it into documents that communicate enough information that the contractor can build it. And so what I want you guys to see here is how things are laid out on these pages using the principles and elements of design. And these are formatted. There's not a lot of composition because it's black and white, but there's a lot of formatting to look at. And one of the things I want to talk about, let's go to the next page, is you can see how things align. Visual aligning helps make documents look nice and clean. These job titles align across the page. There's a gap between them and the title block that matches. The edge of this aligns with the edge of this. You could even go as far as to align that edge with that edge, but it's meant to be kept separate. Oops. See how clean and neat and beautiful and very clearly formatted all of this is. The dimensions here are in blue, which I think is awesome. It makes them easier to read. I don't know why we aren't using more color. It's not as expensive as it used to be, but color does help make documents read easier. It separates the building from the lines. So you see, in every single case, the gap between these lines on the dimension is the same all the way around. And the separation between the building and the first dimension line is the same all the way around. And they align perfectly. Well, normally, I don't think that's overlapping. Try not to overlap things, but sometimes you can't help it. See how clean and easy that is to read? Now, with dimensions, the key, and I want to tell you guys this now because it's something I'm going to repeat a lot. The key to dimensions is only providing the ones you need. Don't dimension the same thing twice. Like if you're going to dimension here, you're dimensioning this here. You're not also going to dimension it. Well, it's different up here. So you wouldn't also dimension it up here. Right? You see the dimensions on this side are different than dimensions on this side. And then all these details. This is clean and matches this, and these align across the page. Their titles align across the page. These align down the page. Everything's laid out. Everything's structured purposefully and intentionally. And that is imperative, because if the drawings are bad and no one can read them, it's going to be impossible for them to be built. Okay? So always remember when we're talking about construction documents, they also are part of principles and elements of design. Formatting, style, right? So if you look at it, the font that is used is uniform. It's the same size. We don't scale up and scale down except to have emphasis, right? So where's the emphasis? Floor framing plan. So when we get into hierarchy and we talk about that more, you see, right? So the main title is here, and then these get smaller as we go down in importance. See how beautiful and clean this is? hard time getting these to. So floor plan and elevation and schedule. And even this is aligned, well, I think maybe is aligned with this. So you just want to really be cognizant of how things align on your page, because leading lines will lead the eye around the document as well. And then we also talked about how you lead people in, right? So people come in. Where do they go from here? Well, they can go this way or they can go this way, depending on what they need. But you will your eye is going to be led by the elements that you design. Very clean, very neat. Everything is aligned and easy to read. Even we're aligning these across the page. And you can really see the alphabetical lines here. Because if those were all the same line weight, it would be very, very flat and difficult to read. So that is also principles and elements of design. Framing plan. And you all will learn how to do this too. We're just starting with design because as you're seeing, as we're learning about it, you have to start with the design process because everything else comes after that. You can't design until you know how to design. Okay, so beautiful. They're still working on this set. They just shared this with me for the use to be able to reference some documents because I've been out of the industry a while, so I didn't have any scanned documents that I could share with you. Plus, I wanted something that was more current, and this is. Okay, so format is important, how you align things, how you lay things out on a page, whether it's photos, whether it's text, whether it's construction documentation, details, floor plans, elevations, sections. It matters. And the easier it is to read and the better formatted it is, the fewer problems you will have in getting your work built. Okay, we're going to end this here. This is the end of Module 2, and we will continue with Module 3 next.